Hi folks, Patrick Barrett here, creator of Driver Ed in a Box and your favorite driver education guru. Back with a great story today to tell you about a couple of students that I've been teaching or have taught recently. Now, I personally don't teach a lot of students anymore. I mean, it just doesn't work for me to do that economically. Most people can't afford for me to teach them, because for me to be involved in the teaching, well, we have programs that we offer anywhere from $5,000 to $125,000. And I realize that's beyond the scope for most people. They just can't even fathom being able to afford that much. And yet there are some people who do fall into those categories who are willing to pay for the top expert in the field. And I appreciate that. And really that's why I created Driver Ed in a Box, because everyone should be able to learn how to drive in this way. Everyone should learn how to become a collision-free driving. And parents, you have the skills. I mean, if you're willing to work with your son or daughter 1 hour a week, if you're willing to go through, listen to our materials and watch the videos and then go out and work with your student. If you've been driving for 10 to 15 years at least, consider yourself an average or above average driver. You've got the skills to do this if you're willing to follow the program. And that's why we created this. But it's interesting. One of the reasons I teach is because I feel like I need to stay in touch to feel what's going on. So I'm going to tell you a story about one person. I'm not going to mention any names here because I want to protect the innocent here. But, on her first lesson, her dad had been working with her and wasn't going as well as he wanted. He felt he needed some help, so he asked me to come teach, and I arranged to do that. And so we go out in the parking lot. It's going pretty well, but she's a beginner, and so it takes a little while to go through all this stuff. So we've gone through that, and then normally, if you were teaching as a parent, I wouldn't let you drive her home. I'd have you drive her home. But because I'm teaching in a car that's got a dual brake, and I know I'm the one controlling the vehicle here, I can get her home with just a little help on her part. So I'm coming out and I said, well, would you like to drive home? Because really, only a few blocks from her house, relatively speaking. And we'd be there in a couple of minutes. And she says, oh, okay. I said, don't worry about it. I said, I'm going to talk you through everything, and if you need any assistance, I'll help you. So everything's going smooth. I mean, we've got controlled lights that are getting us out into the traffic. There's very little traffic. So we go through traffic, and I say, what color is the light up ahead? And she said, no, it's green. I said, that's right. That's a stale green light. It'll be green by the time we get there. So we pass the point of no return. We clear on left. We clear on right. And we go through the light. Everything's just fine. And she says, I just went through my first traffic light. I just went through my first traffic light. I mean, this is true, unabashed, real joy on her part, okay? She is excited about this. I have to tell you, I had never had a student who was that excited about driving and going through a traffic light, and as their first experience, like, this was a treasured moment. Okay, I'm thinking like, we're going to be here a while. But it actually went well. She was a very, very conscientious student. Her parents were great. One of them went with me on every lesson. They practiced in between the lessons. I mean, this was really a wonderful a young lady to work with. And I remember when they finished up, and she eventually got her license, and her dad sent me a video that he made of her getting it, and it was really kind of cute. And talking to him later, and he said he never thought that day would come. He just never in his mind could see that she would actually be able to do that. And watching her through that first lesson, I could see why he would think that. And of course, if she'd gone through a traditional course, it'd have been terrible, absolutely misery for both her and the instructor, and the parents would have had nothing but disappointment and lived in fear about, when's it going to happen, or if it's ever going to happen. But that's why it's so important that you follow the program and understand mastery is the key. It's not a time-based program, it's mastery. And it's wonderful, wonderful. It just gives you a warm feeling in your heart when you help a beginner go through not having any skill at all, or very little skill, and guiding them through all the way through to the point where they not only are confident, but it's a confidence that's based on true competence, that they have the ability not just to manipulate the vehicle, but to read and respond to the traffic scene, to anticipate the traps, to pick the point of no return, to pick the path of least resistance, how to create space and recreate it when someone steals it from them, how to protect themselves from being tagged in the rear. These are wonderful skills that every driver needs to have, and that new drivers are really desperate to have, and they don't even know that they need them. So once again, remember that when you practice, practice like your life depends on it, because it does. And if you need any assistance at all, go to www.driveredinabox.com. Look under our resources. There's going to be something there that will help you in any fashion we want, any fashion you need to help your driver, your new teen driver, become a collision-free driver. Once again, this is Pat Barrett signing off, saying thank you. Bye now.